I care and love this club so much, right? And that is not the performance of champions. I'm sorry, and I'm scared. I've always said about Mikel, he learns from his mistakes. He reacts and he solves the problem. He's very resolute and he quickly makes a problem solver. We have seen so many aspects of that lineup not work over the past 3-4 months, right? Firstly, we start with
over the whole season. Frankly,
over the whole season, we start with Lewis Kelly actually played quite well today, so I'm not going to dig him out too much. But you cannot put that many things wrong into a lineup in a game of this importance. He said to the fans on Thursday or Friday, everybody get up, have your breakfast, have your dinner, have everything, have Christmas dinner, have Easter lunch, everything. Get ready for this game. It's going to be important. You've told everyone how important this game is. I know we have Champions League commitments. I know we only played on Tuesday. I know the squad's tired and it showed today, right? And I know we play on Wednesday and we play Man City next week. But you don't, in a title race, when we be known for bottling it, you don't ever look past the game like this. You told us how important this game is. So why on earth are you starting Ben White, Lewis Kelly? Then you're playing a midfield that doesn't work because Havertz is in it. Then you're playing a front three that has never worked. Gyökeres, Martinelli, and Jonny Madueke. Ineffective, chaotic, rash, no composure. There was no way we were ever going to assert any sort of dominance on the ball. And from minute one, it played out like that.
I think it's difficult. I think you are right, and I think I do agree wholeheartedly. I think just taking a slight step back or forward, I guess, the game from the jump felt like so many games this season where I think us as fans go into games feeling like we're willing our optimism onto Mikel, onto the team, onto the players, because we know that there's been players there that haven't been hitting their levels for whatever reason, fitness reasons or whatever those reasons are. I feel like, as a fan, for me personally, I go into these games being like, right, this is the game. This is the game where it changes. You know, especially in this context, we've got Man City next week. This is the one we just need to get through to make that one be a real, you know, the fixture of the season. That is potentially the crowning moment, right? I think it's tough for me anyway, to have a real, a visceral frustration and anger, because I unfortunately feel like Mikel may have not had a massive choice in his decisions today. I think Eze is the one where, as much as I thought really truly he was going to start, I thought Arteta was playing games with Eze's fitness and the notes he put out and all the media that was circulating. Obviously he wasn't fit, and I think that's obviously the card he's been dealt. However, it's the Ben White stuff for me. It's the MLS stuff for me. It's the Havertz positioning stuff for me. And I think it's disappointing because I thought we were maybe over this makeshift feeling. These moments in the season that feel rather makeshift and feel very thrown together, and not even just makeshift, feel like a massive step back for a team and a manager who are so proud and set on structure and fucking meticulous detail and taking their time and patience and working it. And I'm like, there was none of that today. There was none of that. No urgency, no confidence, and it was telling from very, very, very early on. The only early signs, just to jump into the game, were, I mean, it felt deeply disjointed in the first period, the first 15, 20. There was zero flow. There was duels being lost everywhere. And, you know, for me, Zubimendi is the absolute, is the one that I always look at, because Zubi sums up so many players, man. He's amazing on his day. He's so good. And we have all sat in rooms talking about how great he is. But he has got a rick in him, man. He's got so many loose passes.
Speak about that in terms of Zubimendi. He looked bad today, but the reason why he looked bad, there was players hiding all over the pitch. Why David Raya was struggling to find that pass, we have a way of playing, building up, where David Raya has to find that, and he mostly gets it right. That defence splitting, that press splitting pass or just to help the build up, so we can move about and rotate enough so we can play through the press. No one was showing for it. If you put a man on Zubimendi, right, then there's no one else. The problem is that Noni's not going to drop in and find it. Martinelli's not good enough to drop in and find it. You got Havertz. There was ghosts in the build-up. And that was, for me, the one way of describing what I saw today, we were paralysed in possession. Literally, the fear was there. So we could deal with the lineup and everyone, you know, maybe I'm scapegoating Mikel for the lineup or whatever else. But what you just said there about Mikel's reliance on structure and everything else, at a certain point, there's a tipping point where if the team's too used to being relying on structure and everything else, then it becomes, when the pressure's on, shit, what do I do? How do I actually play football again? Where's my intuition? My actual footballing instinct that I've had since I was a kid to say, you know what, this is why, and by the way, this is why I said Odegaard missing is a big problem, because he takes responsibility. No one took responsibility today. No one.
No. Arsenal, they had 3 shots on target.
Yeah.
Gyökeres penalty, Rice's long-range effort in the second half, and Jesus' header in the 86th minute. Jesus wasn't too bad today, actually. I wanted to give him pelters because he's an easy target, but he wasn't too bad. And I think that is obviously telling of how we played. And I do think, to your point, it's all well and good having structure, exactly like you say. Arteta, I think, has neutered a lot of players' creativity, and the Gyökeres is the only one for me that is able to show that fire in him.
Yeah.
And I think that's just his position and how he plays and how, you know, how strong he is and how he tries to power forward. But players like Eze, you know, they come on and they really just go missing completely. And I don't think it's for lack of trying, but I just think that there's no rhythm in playing like that throughout the season.
I think I'll be saying that about Eze, but today I kind of realised why Eze struggled so much. Eze is a free-flowing sort of freestyle footballer. He's someone, you would see him, he wouldn't look out of place playing in Peckham, in the cages in Peckham. And he's a cage footballer. I think it's very difficult to implement that style whilst you've been given all of these directives that completely conflict with what you're naturally about. So when he comes onto a pitch, like, he wants to do things and he's thinking, oh, hang on, has Mikel told me that I've got to be here? I've got to make sure that if that ball goes behind me, I'm in a position to block any sort of transitioning. Or hang on, if I'm out of here, then we might have an overload over here. And I remember Mikel telling me that, and he's doing calculations. So in that way, he's nullified just by all the faults. You know, you talk about golf and swing faults, and you want to have as few as possible when you're going for a swing. You've got a load for these players, and some of these players, it don't work. It doesn't work like that. Odegaard is someone who you can give instructions to, and he's that good that he can still take responsibility but he still has like the same movements he does all the time. So he may get on the ball in it, but he's almost become predictable because he's going to do that, and then he's going to reverse the ball out to either Ben White or Saka or whoever's overriding. He's going to do the same things over and over again. We need days like today. You need a Ryan Shirky. You need that intuition back.
Yeah, and I think that really does show. I mean, like the how drained they look physically. They look equally as mentally drained, and I think that really shows with Ben White for during Bournemouth's first goal.
Yeah,
came down the right hand side. Adrian Truffet, he was in acres and acres and acres of space, and you can't help but feel for Ben White.
Yeah,
because he's obviously, I mean, it's been talked about to death this last week, but he's obviously not the player we love and we want him to be anymore. And this last 3 or 4 weeks, man, he's just been torn apart in so many different ways.
Without a doubt.
But I just think that that was a real show of the mental, the heads look a little bit gone, which is so worrying. You know, you've got Madueke running and trying to do stuff, but not really thinking, in my opinion, about what he's doing. He's just trying to, bulldoze his way through. You've got Martinelli arguably not thinking enough and just trying to do the same thing again and again and again, not really getting anywhere with it. And it was really. For me, there wasn't much difference that happened in the first half. It was the same again and again.
And I'll tell you one other thing I picked up on today: the 2 goals we conceded all season. If we've ever had an issue, it's been sort of in transition. We haven't been conceding from settled play. Today was a throwback. That was like what used to happen at the Emirates 3, 4, 5 years ago. In terms of,
for sure,
we got popped off the park. Ryan Christie and Scott were absolutely phenomenal. They looked like Busquets and Xavi today, calmly. And there's a reason, there's something wrong there. Don't get me wrong, I think Scott's a great player. Christie, not so much, but he's good, and he got the goal he deserved. But we shouldn't be making.
But they shouldn't be doing that.
Be looking like prime Barcelona against us.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And we had no. And I didn't at any point. Like, I knew that guy. I might as well have got. I kept on trying to give up smoking. I wanted to go for a cigarette, but for about 45 minutes, I'm saying, let's just go for a cigarette, John. Seriously, I've got a pod to do, but let's just go for a cigarette, because what's going to change? We're not winning this. Like, sorry, wife, sorry, Robin, but oh my God.
We win a penalty on 33 minutes-ish, and there was a lovely shot from the ref cam of the Bournemouth players going crazy in a real wide-angle lens, which was very enjoyable for me. And maybe the most enjoyable part of the game. Gyökeres shows, I know he's had a bit of a ropey time at Arsenal, and people like to give him stick, but I do think that he has this, he's becoming the player that you kind of, I think we're all a little bit tainted by him pulling it out of the bag when he needs to pull it out of the bag, but he actually does do it quite regularly when he needs to do stuff. He does it. His trademark celebration, etc., etc. But then as soon as, that penalty goes in, there's no building on that. There's no confidence that comes from that. It really is Bournemouth just slotting into how they were playing previously. And I think that the legginess was contrasted perfectly by Bournemouth's ability to look fresh. They looked like they were comfortable, that they were having a lovely day out in the sun, and they were there to ruin our party. And I think that was what we all feared. But it really, at no point, even when that penalty went in, felt like we were gonna power on to win the game. I don't know how you felt at that point.
No, it was like watching an episode of The Walking Dead. The whole show, the whole game. Sorry. It looked like there was nothing there, and I mean, I don't want to. The thing is, Sam, here, we still need to rely on these players. The title's not done. Funny enough, we're still 9 points clear, which doesn't feel like it at all.
Oh man, it feels weird, doesn't it?
It does feel
now.
Very strange. And City have to go to Chelsea tomorrow. So look, it's not done yet. But look, how my thing is, and when we've had really disappointing performances, the Wolves away game, Forest away, the United game, the only other loss that we've had at home this season, you think, okay, it was a bad game, bad performance. You can sort of excuse away a lot of it. Okay, it was away. United scored 2 stunners. There is nothing in that performance where I think, oh yeah, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. We'll be all right to go to City. This team is scared to death, and I don't know what you can do about that, because there's a ghost of the past 3 seasons that are living with these players, and they're really starting to ring true now, and it's really starting to come to fruition now.
I do agree. I think I was really battling with or hoping that the breaks and the players coming back from injuries and those little factors, and we would come back and we would be live and kicking again. And now the sporting game looks like a little bit of an anomaly, to be honest with you. And we've gotten lucky to get out of there with the 1-0 going into the game on Wednesday. Arteta made some pretty bold subs, bold timing for the subs early on the 54th minute. Eze came on, Downman came on, Trossard came on for Martinelli, Madueke and Havertz. How did you feel about the subs when they came on?
That was probably the little moment of optimism I had, was when they came on. So obviously it's always exciting to see Max come on. It was very early for him. He struggled today. I thought Eze did at least start linking the play. On commentary on TNT, there was a lot of talk about the disconnection, which was obvious. We're not having a midfield. And I've said that last few games, the bad results have been through lack of having a midfield, having options, having those passing lanes to create and to pass and whatever else. Eze sort of connected it a little bit. He had some smart touches. He got on the ball. He looked silky, but couldn't really impact the game as much as I would have liked. Trossard was horrible. Trossard's in a really bad run of form. He's in a really, and it looks like what I'm worried about going into these last 10 or so games is that who can we rely on? You talk about Jesus, Trossard off the bench, so the players that we've got to come back. We really need Saka back. Today is a game where Saka and Odegaard, yes, they would have made a big difference, but it's a game where you need the superstar to rescue you from an horrendous performance. There was none of that.
Yeah.
And I saw on Twitter,
No.
someone said on Twitter that, who in his team does it look like can rescue Arsenal today? Really look at the team. It's not going to be Noni. Noni runs the ball out of play every single time he beats his man. Like, it's not going to be Martinelli. He can't get round this. He can't beat his man. And we can't.
It's Declan Rice.
Yeah.
is the guy, but then that's a stretch.
It's a stretch because he's got so much other work to do.
He's a match winner in that he brings that mentality to the team, but he's not in a position. He's needed elsewhere, in my opinion. More importantly, we need, Jesus can have a good 5-10 minutes here and there, but the left hand side problems show there's nobody that's winning the game off that left hand side for me based on current form currently, or for all those reasons that you've just mentioned. And your Sakas who are injured, your Odegaards who are injured, they may be the players who can pull up the socks of everyone else. But I just feel like the mindset for everyone for different reasons is a little bit shot and tainted, and it feels a little bit murky, and it actually, again, contrasted with Man City's kind of vibe, or how we're assuming their vibe is, we're the other end of the spectrum with it. We look, like you say, terrified, unwilling to try stuff, unwilling to be creative, and again, those mistakes showed in the second goal. Like, when have you seen us give a goal away that easily, that badly? Like that's proper bad vintage stuff.
Yeah, the slow motion when you
see it opening up. You see it opening up.
You think, Jesus Christ, where is everyone? And it was almost like when you give up. That's like your goal you can see. It sort of represents deflation. It's almost like, all right, just give it to me. I'm done. Like euthanasia. Like, I don't know. I've no idea what else to say. I mean, I'm struggling. I am rattled, right? I care and love this club so much, right? And that is not the performance of champions. I'm sorry, and I'm scared. That's what we do the reaction pods for. I'm literally, you will not see, hopefully you won't see me any more rattled than this, people.
I'm most annoyed that Scott looks like a player who is on like the first season of Ted Lasso. Like, he doesn't look like a real footballer to me. Like, he's all a little bit like neat and perfect and a bit disgusting for me. It's all a bit gross.
Yeah.
Raya had a really off game, and I think that bled into the rest of the defence. And there was things like that today where as soon as Raya starts flapping and knocking short passes when it looked like they're going to get intercepted, and trying to flick balls to the outside of his foot, and then just getting past the Bournemouth players, I'm like, we're done for.
They saw us coming, really, but at the same time, I'm hesitant to criticise the players that are taking responsibility. He's got to start that build up. Give him some options, team. Like, come on, like, instead of Declan ran over to him at one stage and did the captain's thing and said, calm down. He did it to the crowd as well. Mikel was apparently turned around at one point because the crowd were like, come on, play forward, lads. Like, take the risk. And he was like, calm down. No, take responsibility. And that's where it is. Instead of Declan running over, 20 seconds after Raya's had a ricket and it's gone out for a corner, run over before that and go and get the ball off him. And I'm not going to pick out Declan because he was one of the few better players today. But
I mean, to be fair to Declan, when he did go over and tell Raya to pick his head up, he did. Minutes later, he did have a bit of a marauding run forward, and he had a little go. So he was, like I say, I think he was the guy that was playing captain. He was the guy that was trying to bring the team together. But I think there was too many problems that had obviously reared their heads by that point. A little note for short corners. What are the short corners about, man?
Yeah.
What's that about? It just seems like a complete waste of time.
When we can deliver the ball in like we can, especially when you're chasing a game, like
it's maddening. It really is maddening.
It didn't make sense. We've got 27 7-foot players sitting in the box. Get the ball in the box. Get in the mixer. Look, like, you take whatever you can get at that stage of the game, and there's so much that went wrong, and there's no time to really recuperate, to reflect. You go straight again. We got sport in there. That stadium will, it does matter. It's a Champions League quarter final. We are 1-0 up, but I don't want to speak to, we've got a whole show to do about what's to come about Sporting. If we go a goal down on Wednesday night,
Yes.
that
Looking
place
scary
will
for the
be
next
a
few weeks.
fucking morgue, excuse my language.
Yeah. Speaking of the Emirates feeling like a morgue, we were obviously watching from, well, you were at home. I'm in my new home in Madeira. Laura, Jim and Luke were all at the Emirates. Luke sent us this voice note about the atmosphere.
Full time of the Emirates, 2-1. I think the booing of the team is insane. Like, insane. What is wrong with you? Please don't boo the team. We're still top of the league and in the Champions League quarter-final. But, yeah, the atmosphere not good. No cohesion for the team. All pretty worrying. I didn't like everyone sort of getting on the back of the players when there was misplaced pass, but by the end of it, it all looked a little bit inevitable. Not a good day. Not a good day. It's not over though, but not a good day.
The one man that sounds deflated.
Yeah, he did.
Deflated.
Well, I don't agree with the booing. I don't either, and even I have to sort of temper my anger towards the lineup, Mikel, the team. Are we going to need him to win the title? But listen, if you can't criticise a team after a performance like that, and this is what I was saying. I was saying this a couple of weeks ago. We came in on Easter Monday and we did a show, and I said, I want some accountability. Don't talk about how much you love the players. If you love the players, go away, go on a romantic break with them. Don't go and play football matches. Talk to me about what went wrong and how you're going to fix it. We have to address it. You can't just sweep that game and performance under the carpet. It's tough, Mikel. There's certain things, quirky solutions and methods he has, like the playing a TikTok video and training this week, whatever else. You're going to get stick for that now because we didn't win. Mm-hmm. And it's not, it's not going to be really, hopefully, it won't come as much from us inside. But there's a lot of people that don't want us to win this title. And that will come. So let's address it. Let's be accountable. And let's show that we're on top of it.
Do you think, though, that the reaction in the crowd, a lot has been made of Arsenal's atmosphere over the last few years being a lot more positive than it used to be, especially in the latter Wenger days. Is that getting to the players? Do the fans need to be the ones to pull the players up a little bit, or are we a little bit past that?
I've got to be careful here. In terms of what the fans, and they're entitled to, it costs a lot of money to go to them, so they're entitled to voice their opinions. I do not agree with the booing. But I don't think that was at the players. And I'll be honest, I think that was at Mikel. Because I feel like they're looking at a team and they're like, do more. Take more risk. What is happening here? Bournemouth have won 3 games away all season. We've lost once at home. So for context, that's why I thought it was a slam dunk, easy win today. Yeah. Really, right? We've lost 1 at home. There was an expectation, and any other day, like if this was in October, we win that game 2-3-0, no problem. What happened today? Like, the crowd tried to get them up. We heard it. I'm sure Luke will tell you the singing was there. What happened? Why did we not react? There's a disconnect there. If we're trying to motivate the players and there's none of it, we saw we didn't create. The whole of the second half, when we at any point, we weren't winning that game at any point, we didn't create a chance.
Nothing. There was no attacking play that was worth talking about the entire game. Entire game, which is embarrassing and is worrying.
Look what the carrot was, with 12 points clear, and you don't create a chance.
Yeah, that's insane.
You can't really have a go at the fans. It's insane. Like, what we saw there was just completely counterintuitive of anything we could have ever expected. There's anxiety, there's stress. That's where I think that camp comes from. I don't agree with it, but that's how some people deal with it.
You mentioned it earlier, Jonny. Man City play at Stamford Bridge tomorrow. Yeah. We are still 9 points ahead. This is why it's all so weird. We are still 9 points ahead, and Man City, although they have hit a little run of form and they have, beat us in the Carabao Cup final, they haven't been scintillating, perfect. They haven't been that Man City. So I still hold out a little bit of hope, personally, that maybe they don't lose against Chelsea, because I think Chelsea are a bit of a mess as well. But I think there's scope to drop points for me. Like, it's not all done and dusted, that game.
It's not. I'll tell you what. God, please. Please. If City can draw tomorrow or lose, then at least we know they're not this monster chasing us.
That's almost more important than
Yeah.
them dropping the points themselves.
Yeah.
You know, it's just reminding ourselves that like they're
who
not
they are.
these.
They've not transformed into the Centurions. That's what, because if they win tomorrow, if they win, even if they win and it's comfortable, the fear that will spread. Well, not the rest of the league. We're the only team going up against them. That will emanate to the players, and we'll really feel that. So that will really compound what happened today. So, in an ideal world, City revert back to type, and they don't get the win tomorrow. In an ideal world, but as we see today, it's not an ideal world.
No. Okay, Johnny, let's leave it there then, shall we? Let's hope for an Erling Haaland leg break. I've said it, and we'll crack on. Thank you for joining us.